Breaking news, Nigerians. Nnamdi Kanu files appeal against jurisdiction of Nigerian High Court to try him for treason charges. Kanu, who filed the appeal on Friday through his special lawyer, Barrister Aloy Jumako, raised 6 issues for the consideration of the court appeal and made several prayers, including putting his trial to an end, discharging him of all charges currently standing against him, and releasing him from detention. Welcome back to Prospect Channel TV. Thank you for stopping by. If you are just joining us, please kindly subscribe and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has filed a brief before the Court of Appeal, raising objections to the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court to try him on the treason charges preferred against him by the Nigerian government. Kanu, who filed the appeal on Friday through his special lawyer, Barrister Aloy Jumako, raised 6 issues for the consideration of the Court of Appeal and made several prayers, including putting his trial to an end, discharging him of all charges currently standing against him, and releasing him from detention. Recall that Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court had on June 19 dismissed the objections to her jurisdiction to subject Kanu to trial, hence prompting Kanu to held to the Court of Appeal, stressing that he expects to prevail on the merits. In the brief filed before the appeal court, Kanu recalled that in October 2022, the High Court of Enugu State entered a judgment in his favor that distracted traced from the jurisdiction of the lower court on 6 of 7 counts, which were remitted from the Supreme Court to the lower court. He added that in October 2020, a United Nations tribunal entered an opinion in his favor that traced from the jurisdiction of the lower court on 6 of 7 counts, which were remitted from the Supreme Court to the court below. And in March 2018, an African Union tribunal, the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, entered a decision in his favor that they detracted from the jurisdiction of the lower court on 6 of the 7 counts, which were remitted from the Supreme Court to the lower court. He further noted that in July 2022, the Treason Prevention and Amendment Act TPAA 2013 was repealed and replaced with the Terrorism Prevention and Habitation Act 2022, which detracted from the jurisdiction of the lower court to proceed on 6 of the 7 counts, which were brought under the repealed TPAA 2013, and from which he remained discharged by the Court of Appeal until December 15, 2023, when the Supreme Court remitted the case to the lower court. Also in April 2023, the Customs and Exercise Management Act was repealed and replaced with the Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023, which detracted from the jurisdiction of the lower court to proceed on 1 of the 7 counts, which was brought under the repealed Customs and Exercise Management Act, and from which he remained discharged by the Court of Appeal until December 15, 2023, when the Supreme Court remitted the case to the lower court. Kanu said that after the remission of the case from the Supreme Court to the lower court, the Federal High Court scheduled the case for trial, whereupon he filed the preliminary objection, which is the subject of the appeal on 7 jurisdictional grounds. Kanu had in the preliminary objection asked the lower court to determine whether, in view of any or more of the grounds of this motion, this honorable court has jurisdiction to try the applicant for any of all of the offences charged. Kanu's lawyer said that in response, the respondent filed a counter affidavit which woefully failed to contradict the applicant's affidavit but saw fit to devote a major part of its submissions to the allegations that applicant was motivated by the dilatory tactics in bringing the preliminary objection and gradually attacking applicant's counsel, whereupon the applicant filed a further affidavit attaching 9 additional exhibits and a reply on point of law on the same date. The preliminary objection was adopted, that is 19th June 2024. The court below entered a bench ruling refusing the objection, and in so doing, the trial court ruled on only one of the 7 grounds of objection and otherwise dismissed the preliminary objection as an abuse of process. Even as the learned trial judge made some positive findings thereof, whereupon his appeal ensued. In the brief filed before the Court of Appeal on Friday, Kanu asked the applicant's court to determine if trial judge not wrong or otherwise misdirected itself on the law when it held that the main issue is that if the defendant has a problem with the count of charge retained, the option open is appeal in view of the finding of the trial court that the Supreme Court did not determine the validity of the court. Also, the trial court not validate the applicant's right to fair hearing when it considered and made the definitive ruling on only one out of the 7 jurisdictional grounds raised in the preliminary objection, said lone ground bordering on the repeal of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013, TPAA 2013, was a court below not wrong when it had that the Treason Prevention and Prohibition Act of 2022 cannot be read to change for offences allegedly committed prior to the act. Well, all this matter here and there, now only one thing we got to stand for here, that the Nigerian government do not want to release Nnamdi Kanu. All this English, the lawyer, they speak here and there, still just based on one thing. This man has been released before. He has been discharged and acquitted. But we are still here talking about a matter that's supposed to be ended. They are going back to where they are coming from. This is really very wrong and it's bad. You understand? This is really very wrong. Well, make we see as the government go treat this matter. But with what is on ground, you go understand, say, these people, it is widely written on the wall that they do not want to release Nnamdi Kanu. And I don't think this is good for anybody. So guys, let's hear from you. Kindly drop your comment below the comment section.